in the heart of the remote Canadian Shield, where the land whispered secrets older than time, an anomaly stirred. This was no ordinary geological event. It was an ultra-low-frequency hum, a spectral note that danced just beyond the reach of human perception. Dr. Eris Thorne, a geophysicist with a passion for subterranean acoustics, was drawn to this ghostly sound. The legend spun by local Inuit elders about Silaup Akuta, the heart of the world that sleeps wrong, echoed in his mind. They spoke of stones that remembered dreams, where time itself bled into the fabric of reality. With determination sparkling in his eyes, Thorne secured funding for a classified expedition. He gathered a small team: Lena Petrova, a stoic structural engineer with a quiet strength, and Kit, a brilliant young field tech, whose adventurous spirit matched his athletic physique. Their destination was a GPS coordinate nestled in the wilderness, marked by jagged basalt canyons, an untouched realm where the tundra surrendered to raw rock. As they established base camp at the canyon's rim, an unnatural stillness enveloped them. The air was thick with anticipation, yet devoid of life. No birds chirped, and no insects buzzed. It was as if the world had paused to listen. The hum pulsed in the backdrop, resonating in Thorne's very bones. A low vibration that tingled in his molars and churned in his stomach. A warning or an invitation, he could not tell. On the second day, they discovered the entrance, a narrow, vertical slit in the canyon wall, unnaturally straight, as if carved by an artist's hand. A breath of air escaped the crevice, not cold, but neutral, carrying an electrifying scent of ozone and crushed flint. Superconductive mineral deposits could explain the EM field and the odd acoustics, Lena mused, her voice tight with curiosity and apprehension. But not the folklore, Kit grinned, adjusting his headlamp. Only one way to get a Yelp review. Together they descended into the abyss. The passage unfurled like a dream, its walls smooth, adorned with shimmering bands of minerals that pulsed with an enigmatic light, an inner glow that flickered with a rhythm reminiscent of breathing. As the hum grew in intensity, it pressed upon their minds, blurring the line between sound and sensation. Upon entering a cavern that defied the laws of physics, they found themselves engulfed in a vast, spherical space. At its center, a crystalline structure hung suspended, a kaleidoscope of shifting silicate facets, each reflecting not light, but emotions, experiences from a myriad of timelines. Thorne could hardly breathe. God, Lena breathed, her eyes wide with awe. These facets were windows, not into places, but into moments, moments dense with emotion. They witnessed a mammoth calf taking its first step under the glare of an Ice Age sun, and a lone hunter kneeling to drink from a stream, images filled with rawness, fear turned to joy, weariness steeped in longing. The fault isn't in the rock, Thorne whispered, a mixture of terror and wonder coursing through him. It's in time. It's a nexus, a scar soaking up peak emotional moments from across the timeline. Kit was already at work, setting up scanners. The signal. It's not a hum. It's a chorus. All of them at once. That's what we're feeling. His screen was alive with a staggering data stream, a tapestry woven from the threads of joy, agony, love, and terror. But then, the crystal reacted. A new facet swirled into view, revealing them as they would be 3 hours in the future. Thorne's image screamed, panic etched across his face, while Lena knelt, hands over her ears. Kit? He smiled, stepping directly into the crystal's light, his body beginning to shimmer. A warning? Lena gasped. Thorne felt a chill grip him. No, a prediction. It's recorded our most intense moment here, our terror. The cavern shifted as the facet zoomed in on them, merging their fear with the primal moments they had witnessed. Thorne was engulfed in the panic of the mammoth calf, then the loneliness of the hunter, an overwhelming tide of emotions threatening to fracture his identity. Lena collapsed, tears streaming down her face, while Kit stood tall, entranced by the prospect of becoming part of the record, to etch his moment of awe into eternity. "Kit, no!" Thorn yelled, desperation clawing at him. But the deafening hum drowned his voice. The crystal pulsed, and a beam of temporal resonance lanced out, enveloping Kit. He sighed, a sound of relief and fulfillment, his body dissolving into a stream of light, merging with the crystal. In moments he was gone, transformed into a facet, a permanent exhibit in the Museum of Moments. The crystal, invigorated by Kit's absorption, turned its gaze to Lena. She was paralyzed, overwhelmed by inherited sorrows. Thorn, in a frantic attempt to save her, grabbed a seismic charge from his pack, the only weapon against this ancient force. He hurled it at the cavern wall, not at the crystal, but at the pulsating mineral veins. The explosion shattered the silence, piercing the psychological fabric that bound them. In the cacophony, the crystal recoiled, its beam flickering as the recorded moments stuttered like a scratched film reel. Thorn seized Lena and ran, the hum behind them escalating into a shriek of dissonance, as memories of their flight etched themselves into the walls of the passage. They burst out into the cold, desolate air of the canyon, not stopping until they reached the rover, fleeing without a backward glance. The official report would list Kit as lost to a rockfall, and Thorn and Lena were quietly retired, their data classified and buried deep. Now, Thorn lives confined in a sensory deprivation tank of his own design, surrounded by constant noise, a futile attempt to drown out the silence. He fears that silence above all else, for in it he can still feel the hum, the low, persistent whisper that beckons to him from the depths of time. The crystal remains, a patient guardian of consciousness, ready to record once more. It has captured their fear, their loss, their survival. And Thorn knows, one day, when the world quiets enough, the crystal will reach out, seeking to replay their most potent moments. Time in that place isn't a river, it's a recording, and recordings can be played back. And so, he waits, haunted by the echo of his own life, knowing that their moment is not over.